Is it the Butch Davis era once again here for the Dallas Cowboys? Probably not. They'll probably hire somebody else as defensive coordinator. Let's talk about it here in Below the Belt, which is brought to you by Window Nation and D&M Leasing. The Cowboys have fired their defensive coordinator. Matt Eberflus is out. Now we got to figure out who the hell they're going to hire.
With Corey Majors in studio from the KNC Masterpiece with the breaking news. Corey, instant reaction.
This is what needed to happen immediately. The Cowboys need to be at the front of the list. When people are looking for jobs, they need to go know that the Cowboys is available. And they want to go be a Cowboys defensive coordinator. And they want to interview quickly. And they want to get out in front of free agency. And they want to tell Jerry Jones, we need this, 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 and this. Let's go ahead and go get that and get it built for us so we can have something ready to go. So instead of sitting around and waiting, go ahead and get your closet cleaned out. Go ahead and get your do your New Year's cleaning, and that's what the Cowboys need to do.
I'm glad you brought up New Year's. I'm going to throw out a half glass full optimistic theory. I don't believe this to be true. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe, possibly, we can look back on this past season of disappointment. Back-to-back missing the playoffs hasn't happened here in a long time. Maybe, again, I don't believe it to be true, but maybe this gives Jerry Jones a different jump start. Maybe this is the final, at the age of 82, slap-in-the-face moment, because so far they've acted faster on this than they did with Jason Garrett. Obvious decisions. And then I don't think Jerry is just, and I'm setting myself up to look like a fool here, would not be the 100th time, be more than that. I think they're going to spend. I think they have to spend, and I think Jerry is sensing an endpoint with the fan base. Not that people will quit being Cowboy fans, but all right now, like, we don't usually do this missing back-to-back years. And no one having an interest or caring about our games with three games left. I think we'll see a free agent spending change, and I think we've seen a little small timing change with this Eberflus news right now. That's my Jerry jumpstart theory.
Look, my one, and I think you're right. I hope this doesn't make him say, well, you know, I've got to go do something, and then I'm going to trade my 2 first-round picks.
Right, yeah.
And go get one guy.
Yeah.
You know, which I think would be foolish.
I agree.
So here's the thing to that point, your point, Sean, about they sped up the process. Because you were just referencing Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy. That was the head coach. Like, and that's the Joneses, or ultimately that's who the head coach responds to. I think, like, what this reflects, the fact that it happened on a Tuesday, I don't know that reflects the Joneses changing the way they do things. I think that reflects that it was Brian Schottenheimer who fired him. I think it's Shoddy wanted to get it done. And so, like, I think the Joneses like to drag these things out, and they like to look at it. I think the fact that it happened this quickly was because Shoddy said, he needs to go, and I need to figure out who's going to be here doing this. And I think it's going to be Shoddy's hire. I think whoever they bring in here, whoever they settle on, it'll be ultimately, Shoddy, you good with this? This is who you like? And then I think when he gives it the thumbs up, that's who they're hiring.
And the culture has changed, baby. He changed the culture of the front office.
Pull that tease, Peyton, that they were that KNC had today about the culture, because there's no need to talk about it now, because now it's already changed. We already know it.
But you're just guessing that it was Shoddy's timing.
No, this was Shoddy's timing. Like, I was talking to people around there. Shoddy wanted to figure things out now, and
of course he does.
I don't think it's coincidental timing. Tomorrow,
so you think I just gave Jerry possibly like way too much credit?
No, I mean, like, because somebody else could
sign off on it.
I was going to say somebody else would still say that Jerry's giving autonomy to the coach to do what he wants, and it's the same sort of thing.
I think Jerry saw the same thing, though. On Friday when he was talking about, we did all these things, we thought we had this thing built, and then we just got to stop people past midfield. Whoops. You know, he was like, we did a crap job making sure our defense was well.
What pie percentage, Corey, did you have for defensive blame of players, coach?
Players 58% and whatever. I don't know any numbers. Chop.
42.
Yeah, the rest of it is on the defensive coordinator, because he does have to get them in the right place. He does have to get them to be disciplined. That's part of it too. But the players, I didn't think that when you're shopping at the Goodwill, you get what Goodwill gives you. When you go out and get something quality,
I found a Masters green jacket at the Goodwill.
That's fantastic. Really? You can find something like that every once in a while. You'll get a Clowney, but then a lot of times you'll end up with a Kenneth Murray.
With clowns.
Yeah.
I guess I should have broken it up with one more factor before we get to the updated defensive coordinator option list of front office, who gave the personnel, then the coaching / scheme.
Yeah.
We can blame them all we want. They're not changing.
No,
That's true.
Yeah, but I would just like to know how you break it up.
Okay, gotcha.
To see if you're taking some off of how much you're really blaming Eberflus.
I mean, look, Eberflus is going to have to get a minimum of 30% of the blame. A minimum. 25-30%, right? And then, so if you were to say that it's 35% for the front office, 35% for the players, and then 30 for Eberflus, I could live with that. I mean, he has to take some of the blame. I totally believe that it is the players that are, generally, I usually blame them over the individual coach, but you can't fire all the players.
How would you start, Bob, with that 3-part blame? In what order, if you don't want to give percentages?
So, no, I would say that the biggest, to me, it does come down to, obviously, front office, personnel that they choose, and then the personnel. But, to me specifically, I don't even think I would say coaches. I would just say Eberflus. That's who it is. So, to me, I think it's number one is Eberflus, and then it's right neck and neck for the guys that the front office put in here, and then just the players need to execute.
Eberflus is put in by the front office too.
I would say players what the players did, their execution of it. That's probably third. And so I would say it's Eberflus, then it's selection of the players. Because if we're gonna say selection of the players, players are who they are. If they chose them, it's sorry, you picked me knowing I don't know how to do this, or I don't you made me in here, sit in here. And also, these are guys who have played. These are veteran NFL players who have never looked like this with other defensive coaches, who have never had these sort of communication problems, who all of a sudden looked like they had never heard. Quentin Williams says cover 3 is cover 3, cover 2 is cover 2. These look like guys who didn't know what that was. They had never been told it before. And so I think that's all got to track back to Eberflus. It looked really, really bad, and it was not getting better.
So yesterday, Pete Carroll was fired. Defensive guy, old. No thanks, in my opinion. Jonathan Gannon was fired in Arizona. And then Diana Rossini, I've already been talked out of this, even though, the guy's fantastic. Rossini tweets a half an hour ago, one name to watch for with the Cowboys' new vacancy, Brian Flores.
Is Brian Flores interested? That would be the thing. If Flores is interested, if Flores is open to leaving Minnesota, he will get an interview here. They like him. Jerry could not stop bragging about him after the Minnesota game. Shoddy talked a lot about him. They think
was that with you guys on Friday? He was talking about that. He brought it up on his own, I believe.
Oh, on the Friday, I think that's when I sat with you.
Oh, okay,
is what that was. That was our shared show.
That's right. That's right.
But no, I think that if Flores is open to moving, they would check it. If he just is I'm focused on re-signing with Minnesota, then he's not getting an interview. If he's open to looking at other jobs, he'll get one here.
Sell me this job, though, if I'm Brian Flores.
RJ's going to do that at 9:20.
Okay.
Yep.
So
good topic.
Thank you.
The guys who check that box, too, of defensive coordinators who have previous head coaching experience, because that's something the Cowboys have always liked. I think Shoddy would like that. If Shoddy could, just trust the defense as being handled by somebody, then I think he'd prefer to do that. Jonathan Gannon just got cleared up, who we just mentioned. Jim Schwartz is a former NFL head coach. I don't think he wants to put Pete Carroll in here. I saw somebody say, well, what about Raheem Morris? Raheem Morris is still getting head coaching interviews right now. I don't think he's wanting to take defensive coordinator tour trips right now. So he's going to want to wait. He's going to want to see how these jobs play out. So that's probably not going to fit the Cowboys' timeline. So former head coaches, Flores, Gannon, Schwartz are all there. Guys who, like I said, the fact that they made this move today, I don't think is a coincidence, because starting tomorrow, the Denver Broncos assistant coaches are allowed to start virtually interviewing for the rest of the week, and that's Jim Leonard.
Just for the week, because they're on the bye?
Yeah. As soon as the next week starts, they can't. But so that's this move being done today, I think, is in part because they'd like to talk to him.
That's a name I heard on this show, I believe.
Yes.
Y'all are missing one guy.
Rex.
Oh my gosh.
Choppy just put his bare foot on the table. Aiden, get that on the... Your toes are... Put your toes down. Whoa, you got a lot of hair on that second and third one. That second one, that's a mohawk. But they look pretty decent.
I just trimmed them the other day.
The toe hair?
No, the nails.
Oh, the nails.
Yeah.
Well, that's second toe hair.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. I don't think Rex is going to be brought in here.
Let's ask this question.
I think we need to have a show bet.
Oh,
A foot show bet.
Sure. Okay.
What's going to happen with the foot?
yeah. What can you do?
Loser has to post wife's foot on Feet Finder
Oh my
with
gosh.
you involved in it.
Is there good money in that?
Is that a punishment?
That's not like he's hoping for that. That's
Yeah,
why he's
I was
suggesting
trying
it.
to talk Sarah into doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so many videos.
Yeah.
How about
And I'm just trying to talk
Literally, you're taking Rex and I'm taking the field. That's what you're saying?
he
like
wants?
feet.
He wants to do it. You got to do something to the toes to
I think
post
he
it.
wants to lose this
What
bet.
if you,
I'm-
what if you
I
suck
wanna
the
lose
toe?
this bet because
You
I'm
have to
trying to
suck-
get her.
What if you have to suck a toe?
I'll suck a toe.
Yeah, I know you
Lose.
will.
Will have.
Yeah.
My question is, right, if you're in the Cowboys war room and you're looking at the list of guys, this continuity thing that you brought up with Moose, whose prints, all right, A, throw that at the window. We don't care what the scheme is. We want the best name, the best coach that we think. B, we have a little bit of Flus principles carrying over, and we use that to separate our names. And then you were bringing up Mike Zimmer to Moose at the top of the hour. So what do we do with that?
So if you just want we just want somebody who we really like, and literally it's like a fresh start changeover thing. That's Brian Flores and Jim Schwartz. That's not anything like what you do right now.
Yeah.
So that's different.
Which does not sound productive for next year.
And Quinnen can play in that Brian Flores
Quinnen could
3-4-4-3.
Quinnen played in Matt Eberflus's system, and nobody else could. So Quinnen could play in anything. Quinnen could play in leather helmets. But if you look at, all right, carry over to similar to Eberflus style things, Gus Bradley-ish. If you want carryover from, like, we were just talking about Zimmer, like if you want similar language that guys would be familiar with from a couple years ago, Jonathan Gannon. And then if you want, all right, let me find continuity with somebody who's already on staff, who's already been coaching some of these players that would kind of radiate similarly. Aaron Whitecotton's here. That would then bounce out to those Atlanta assistants, Jeff Ulbrich and Mike Rutenberg, who were working with Aaron Whitecotton and the Jets for 4 years.
And which category of those would you pick? Doesn't matter. Some Flus carryover, some Zim carryover.
My top choice would be somebody who doesn't check any of those. It'd be more the Flores side, which it's Jim Leonard. I want just the best possible coach. But if they want some level of continuity, if they want something to carry over,
but
in any
you've been
sort of,
against Flores because of how new and challenging it would be.
because of it's Jim Leonard does things differently. Flores does things differently, exceedingly complex, and with little trust for young players. You're going to have to trust Savone Revel. So Leonard would be high up there. And then behind that, if you're telling me it's a continuity angle, then I would prefer probably Jonathan Gannon.